Hi, I'm Crystal Renault, and I'm the founder and director of Whole Women's Ministries, Dirty Girls Ministries, and the Whole Women's Conference. I want to thank Renee Fisher for having me join you guys today to talk to you about the area of justice. So much we hear about justice, we think about justice, we think of the areas that affect maybe children, poverty, clean water, um, justice for victims of oppression, maybe. And those are all, obviously important topics and areas that we as ministry leaders and parachurch organizations should care about deeply. And so God bless those who work in those areas of justice. But today I want to talk to you about something that's a little bit different in terms of our predisposed or, whatever ideas about justice are. And that topic is pornography. You might be thinking, well, that's not really a justice topic, but I'm here to tell you that it definitely is an issue of justice. And here's why. Pornography is nothing if not a system of supply and demand. Those who demand it, those who frequent pornographic websites, pornography in general, they have a demand, and so those who are supplying pornography material have a demand to meet. And unfortunately, that demand is so great, it's such a large demand these days that pornography is not as simple as let's put an ad in the paper for some actresses and some actors that we can hire to work in this industry and perform for them. No, anymore, the pornography industry is itself a human trafficking industry, a sex trafficking industry. And these men and women who are on the screen performing these sexual acts are not doing it necessarily because they want to be, but because they've been put in a position where they are forced to. But the way it's done is a little bit different than you're thinking of the third world countries where, or even here in the United States, where women are actually kidnapped and into the industry. Yes, that happens in the porn industry, but it's also a manipulation tool that they use to get men and women involved in the pornography industry, and then they get trapped because of that manipulation. You will have a young girl who maybe has run away from home. She thinks she's going to get a better life, and she ends up getting picked up by this porn producer or his recruitment people, and he tells this girl, "You're beautiful. Oh my gosh, you are so stunning. I can make you a model." Okay? And he tells her, "I will give you a new home, a new apartment, a new car, clothes, and money, and all you have to do is model for me." But what ends up happening is the more stuff she's given, the more things she's asked to do. And before long, she thinks, man, I don't really want to do this anymore. And so she wants to get out. And that's when the tables turn. And this person who has been so loving and so nice to her, providing her with all this stuff, now basically says to her, you owe me because of X, Y, and Z. I own you because of X, Y, and Z. And you will continue to do what I ask you to do, no matter what I ask you to do, because you owe me. And I've taken care of you. And no one else will be able to take care of you the way that I take care of you. And it's this whole manipulation storm. And so this girl who just wanted to find a better life for herself is now trapped in this cycle, in this pit of hell that is the pornography industry. And she will end up forced to take drugs, forced to have abortions if she gets pregnant as a result of her performing all these various things. And if you can tell me that's not a justice issue, then I'm not sure what a justice issue really is. And you might be thinking, okay, well, I don't watch pornography, so how does this really affect me? I am not part of the demand. Well, if you are a human, then this affects you, because this is a humanitarian issue of, we know people watch pornography, whether we know them personally or know them, because we know that pornography is a major issue these days, not just here in the United States, but around the world. And you can only imagine that this issue of injustice, when it comes to those on the screen, is only growing, only becoming more rampant as the days unfold. So, Zechariah 1:9 basically tells us, you administer true justice, show mercy and compassion to everyone. Well, whether or not we ourselves view pornography, it is an issue that affects us, because we all are affected by pornography in one way or another. And if you're a church leader, a ministry leader, or just somebody who is human, we have a role to take in this. We can draw a line in the sand and say we are going to stop the demand for pornography by not watching pornography. And you draw that line in the sand in your churches, in your ministries, amongst your friends, and you hold people accountable to that. Because when the demand of pornography ends, so will the supply and the need to traffic women and men to make it happen. And that's what I want to leave you with today. Human trafficking is not just girls being kidnapped at bus stops, truck stops, different things in third world countries. Human trafficking is also prostitution as you would see it in Vegas. You think these girls are doing it because they want to. No. No girl wakes up one morning and says, I want to sell myself. This is a beast. This is an industry of injustice amongst men and women for sex. And it transcends streetwalkers. It transcends what you think of when you think of human trafficking. This is now an area that has gone into the porn industry, where women and men are being held against their will to perform for those who are demanding this pornography. And so if we love God and if we love women, we will say no more. We will draw that line in the sand and say, from here on, we will not view pornography. And if you are a porn addict, if you are somebody who maybe you would identify yourself as an addict, but you view pornography on a regular basis, you are part of that demand. You are part of that demand that is basically telling men and women, we don't care about you. We care more about satisfying ourselves than we do about caring for you. And as human beings, I don't think there is anything that we could do than sit back and allow this injustice to continue. I know that we can't really necessarily stop the industry, but we can stop the demand by drawing that line in the sand and say, we're done. We are not going to allow this injustice to continue. I will not contribute to the injustice by viewing pornography. And then encourage others in your lives to make that same line in the sand, to make that same pledge, so that demand for pornography will end. And if you need help today with your addiction, there are things that there's resources available for you, whether you're a man or a woman. And yes, women are addicted to porn. Myself, for 8 years as a preteen and teenage girl, I viewed pornography. I personally contributed to this injustice myself, and that's something that I have to reconcile with myself and God probably for the rest of my life. But I also know that there is grace and forgiveness in that. And there's ways for help. If you're a woman, we would love to help you. I'm the founder of Dirty Girls Ministries. We come alongside women who have pornography addiction. DirtyGirlsMinistries.com. We have an online community for you. It's free. You can get accountability and support and prayer. and just the satisfaction of knowing that you're not alone in your addiction, because I know how lonely that addiction is. And if you're a man, there's many resources for you as well. Triple X Church, Covenant Eyes, there's softwares available for accountability. Get help today. Let's end the demand for pornography so that these women and men can be freed from the supply. Thank you for how you've listened, and may you have a blessed day.